Hello everybody, bit of a sad, well, quite a sad video this. Those of you may have remembered last year I interviewed John Farrelly on the Not Quite the Witching Hour show. I think it might have been on 313, about his book, Irish Fairy Folk. It was an amazing and wonderful book. John sadly passed away from cancer last week. He was a lovely man, a great guy, well switched on, and it was only that long ago he got a copy of an illustrated grimoire, and I think it might have been the Lesser Key of Solomon, and he was showing me the illustrations in the book, and the two of us were just like wow, and it's just like. And we chatted about, like, you know, it'd be great to work on something together. We even went around the idea of an RPG game based on like an Irish fairy and folklore rule book. And then, like, not even like that wasn't that long ago, he says to me that he would have to go to hospital, and and I said, we have to do a catch up. Do you want to meet up somewhere? We were always things always got in the way. He lived up in Armagh in Northern Ireland, and he said to me, "I'm a bit nervous. I'm going to the hospital tomorrow for an examination." And I was like, "You know what you do? He said, "Yeah, you'll be all right. Don't worry about it." And then he come back and he says, "Yeah, I've got cancer and I'm going into palliative care." And it was like, I'd never heard of anyone going into palliative care so quickly, so that was a shock. But I thought he'd somehow. I just couldn't comprehend. I can only imagine how his unfortunate family feels. I'll send my condolences to. But he was posting on social media, and he was quite active on. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I can still read the sorcery group, and he was still right to the end quite active on that, summing things up and posting stuff on to do with folklore and stuff like that. And then it just did a day. I think it was his wife or a family member posted that he's gone. So it's very sad. I don't know what to say really. He came across as a beautiful guy. He was a very attractive man in lots of ways. He had a phenomenal personality. He was full of charisma. He had this beaming smile. He wasn't a bad looking guy. He could have been an actor, I'm pretty sure. Well, I imagine when he was quite young, he was quite handsome. And, you know, it's like we've lost him, John, Lar Dooley, and this year from Loch Crew. And not too long ago, Jack Roberts. So it's like we're losing a lot of these guys in Ireland that were kind of touchstones for our culture and our heritage in megaliths and folklore and everything. And it's hurting. And but he did leave us this magnificent book, and it's he's a fan. We'd often have laughs about the thing, but look, you see, like he'd often have Ellen, like the Varacoo, the waterhound of Loch Glenade, just up the road here, and great illustrations. And the book was done in almost, you know the way like the Call of Cthulhu, like two Lovecraft stories, The Call of Cthulhu and The Whisper in Darkness, which is my favourite Lovecraft story, begin with somebody getting their hands on correspondences and then opens up an insight to a world. Well, that's how this book was written in that fictional style. He has an imaginary uncle who he got his cottage, or inherited his cottage, and found that he had compiled a book of all the fairies and all the supernatural entities, like the Duhallan, the coachman, that lived in the area. But it's also things like there's loads of things. The illustrations are just fantastic. So if you haven't heard the talk we did together, it's on. You know, you'll see it there. But you know, it's a terrible loss. It's a phenomenal loss, I can only imagine, for his family and his friends. And I was only beginning to get to know him, but it must be it's a catastrophic loss for Ireland and folklore, because he had a lot more of, and a lot more of these in here, these kinds of books in him. So travel well, John, and I'll see you next time. And thank you very much for adding and keeping the song of Eru alive. That's all I have to say.